Well, as I say, we begin tonight with the breaking news from Jeffrey Goldberg's new report in The Atlantic that tells one of the ugliest stories ever told about Donald Trump. And it begins with that ugly confection on the top of Donald Trump's head that is designed to hide what for Donald Trump is a painful truth. In trying to hide that truth, Donald Trump reveals so very much of who he is. In trying so desperately to hide the truth about how much hair actually grows on Donald Trump's head, he combs over the spots of his skull that he doesn't want you to see, and the crown he creates is so absurdly elaborate and obviously fragile that it screams a constant warning of the fragility of the ego that needs to create that ridiculous lie on the top of his head. And when Donald Trump enters, his hair is lying to you before he opens his mouth. Donald Trump's hair tells you, here is a man who will lie to you and does not care how obvious and ridiculous his lies are. Donald Trump's hair gives you the shortest shortcut you could ask for in measuring his insecurity. Hair is more important to Donald Trump than life and death. The life and death of others, the lives and deaths of American soldiers buried in a cemetery in France that Donald Trump refused to visit because it was raining, and he worried about the fragility of his hair. The current commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States of America was afraid that his hair could not endure raindrops in a place where American soldiers endured so much more, and so many made the ultimate sacrifice. You might recall that in 2018, there was a last-minute change to Donald Trump's schedule in France when he canceled a visit to the American military cemetery near Paris, saying that the helicopter could not fly because of rain, and that the Secret Service couldn't drive, didn't want to drive because of rain. They didn't want to drive there. Now, there was no reason to believe any of that story at the time, and many of us publicly said we did not believe that story at the time. But now Jeffrey Goldberg has new reporting saying that none of that was true, that the helicopter couldn't fly, and it was not true that the Secret Service couldn't drive to the cemetery. Jeffrey Goldberg reports Trump rejected the idea of the visit because he feared his hair would become disheveled in the rain, and because he did not believe it important to honor American war dead, according to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion that day. In a conversation with senior staff members on the morning of the scheduled visit, Trump said, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." In a separate conversation on the same trip, Trump referred to the more than 1,800 Marines who lost their lives at Belleau Wood as suckers for getting killed. Belleau Wood is a consequential battle in American history, and the ground on which it was fought is venerated by the Marine Corps.